Good afternoon and welcome to NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. I'm Sandra Jones, and we are kicking off 2026 with a series of spacewalks outside the International Space Station. Here to discuss today's spacewalks, we have three briefers. They are Bill Spetch, the Operations Integration Manager for the International Space Station, Deanna Trujillo, who is a Flight Director, as well as Heidi Brewer, who is a Flight Director as well. We'll start with some brief opening remarks from our briefers before jumping into questions here in the room, on the phone bridge, and using the hashtag AskNASA on social media. If you are dialed into our phone bridge, you can press *1 to submit your question. If you do feel that your question has already been asked, simply press *2 to withdraw it. And if you are on social media, you can use the hashtag AskNASA to submit your questions on our various social media platforms. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Bill for his opening remarks.
All right. Thank you, Sandra. And thank you all for joining us today to discuss these two upcoming spacewalks outside the ISS. These will be the first two spacewalks for Expedition 74, the first of 2026, and the 278th and 279th in support of the International Space Station's assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The first EVA on Thursday, January 8th, NASA astronauts Mike Fink and Zena Cardman will exit the station's Quest airlock to finish the prep for the 2A power channel for our future rollout solar arrays, or IROSAs as we call them. Once installed, that array will provide additional power generation for the ISS. Additionally, the duo will swab the outside of the ISS again to test for microbes in our microorganisms experiment campaign. This will be Zena's first spacewalk and Mike's 10th. Mike will become the 6th U.S. astronaut with 10 spacewalks done. And Mike has totaled over 48 hours, over 2 days outside the ISS. On the second EVA on Thursday, January 15th, two NASA astronauts will replace a high-definition camera on camera port 3, install a new planar reflector on the Harmony module's forward port, and relocate a set of ammonia jumpers, which are flexible hose assembly that connects parts of our thermal system, along with some other jumpers on the station's S6 and S4 truss. That fluid system jumper will enable us to refill some of the outboard thermal system ammonia later on. Beyond those spacewalks, we have an incredibly busy start to the new year. As soon as we finish off that EVA on the 15th, we'll move right into another reboost of the space station on January 16th using the SpaceX 33 capsule. This will be the final reboost using that capsule's boost trunk capability. We'll then quickly move into packing up that Dragon in prep for having it undock from ISS on January 21st. Reminder that SpaceX 33 delivered more than 5,000 pounds of supplies and research to ISS. Then there's no rest for us. As we go from that, we'll have to pack up the HTVX vehicle that is also still on board. We will get that packed and targeting unberth and release of that spacecraft in late January. Right now, we're targeting January 27th for the unberth and January 28th for the release. The reason there's a split there is there's some experiments that we're doing with the actual HTVX, looking at those sensors and looking at the reflectors on the front of the station to support a future demonstration that they want to do with the HTVX vehicle. HTVX arrived carrying 4.4 tons of supplies and research to the ISS. And then we're looking forward to the launch of NASA's SpaceX Crew 12 in February. That'll send astronauts Jessica Meir, Jack Hathaway to the station, along with ESA astronaut Sophie Ardenau and Roscosmos cosmonaut Andrei Fadeev. This will be the second flight for both Jessica and Andrei, and Sophie and Jack's first flights each. The launch is targeted for February 15th today. We continue to celebrate, as we go here, the International Space Station's 25 years of continuous human presence. We're advancing scientific knowledge and demonstrating new technologies that enable us to prepare for human exploration of the moon as we prepare for Mars. Station's design requires humans living on board to maintain, operate, and upgrade it. So these commercial crew missions that come up, as we talked about with that, are very important to the mission. As you can see, we have to do some maintenance outside too, so we'll be going out and doing some spacewalks. Given the proximity of the holidays, I want to spend send a special thank you to the entire team that supported the development work associated with these spacewalks, all the preparation work that has gone into it, as much of that occurred over the holiday season, and the team's dedication always amazes me, and we are ready to go for these upcoming spacewalks. For more details, I'll hand it over to our flight directors for the first EVA, Deanna.
Great, thank you, Bill. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about EVA 94. As Bill just said, we are very grateful and very excited to be doing this EVA, and grateful to the team who has been working so hard to get us to this stage through the holidays. We will start with the team, so if we could please go ahead and cue up the slide. Okay, our first slide will be the team as you can see it here. We got Farouk will be our EVA a flight controller lead. At the same time, we have two of our astronauts. The first astronaut going out, which is with the red stripes, is Mike, just as Bill mentioned. And then Zena will be our second astronaut. If we can please go ahead and, perfect, thank you. So there he goes, you got the pictures of them. Let's go for the next slide, please. And the next slide, please. Okay, so to talk about really what we're going to do here, if you can cue the next one as well. Excellent, thank you. All right, so if we look at the station itself and we take a giant step back, the location where we're gonna go do these activities today, actually on January 8th, is on the 2 Alpha area, which is the port side of the space station. So we're gonna come out of the airlock and we're gonna translate to the 2 Alpha port side of the station where we will go over a few items. One of them is our primary activities, the modification kit, which, as Bill mentioned, is a structure that's going to be holding the solar arrays themselves. We will also have, perfect, that's a slide where you can see the modification kit. What we're going to do with the modification kit here is we're going to put 3 of the struts, the color struts that you see, the blue, the red, and the green one. As we are assembling that, it will take us about 4 hours and a half to complete that activity in a nominal case. And then after that, one of our astronauts, in this case Mike, will move to another activity, which it will be a jumper cable activity. The jumper cable activity will be an installation that we're going to have to increase our redundancy on our power system. In addition to that, that's great, that's a good image. So as you can see on the right side of the station, there's a few activities that are listed there. 2 Alpha mud kit on the right side of the image, then you will see the DDCU cable, which is the second ellipse in the image. And then after that, you'll see that Zena will be also working in parallel to Mike on the torque resets. What that means really is that Zena is going to go to the boxes that you see in here on the bigger ellipse. She's going to undo the torque of a few boxes that we have in there, which are our battery boxes, and then redo the torque at a lower value. The intent there with that is to position us or put us into an advantaged position so that in the future, if needed, robotic operations can come in and remove the boxes. By her changing the torque value, it will enable those operations. Once we complete everything in the port side, what we're going to do then is to now return to the airlock. At the airlock itself, we will be doing 5 samples of the microorganisms. So let's go over that. Thanks for putting that up. For the microorganisms, just like Bill mentioned, we will be swabbing 5 different locations, all of them at the airlock area. The first image that you see on the right of the slide from me is a swabbing right at the edge of the airlock door, the hatch itself. Then we're also going to do a swab on the cover of the hatch itself as well, and then we're going to swab as well the glove. Those are 3 samples that I'm showing you there, but we're going to double some of them, which is why it accounts up to 5. After we complete that activity, Zena and Mike will return back into the airlock, and EVA 94 will have been completed. Now we're going to play a video for you all so you can see all the activities that I just described from end to end. If we can please cue it up.
We will begin the day with our crew members Mike and Zena egressing the airlock with their strut bag and the cable bag. Both crew members will translate to the port side of the station, where most of the EVA work sites are located for the day.